Hey y'all, this is a fresh cup of MJ where we pour character, esteem, and community one glass at a time. I am your sipper, MJ, and today we have a licensed cosmetologist and God advocate, our guest sipper, Tensia Leaks. How's it going?
Hello, I'm awesome. I'm
Good,
awesome.
good.
I'm awesome.
Tell us
I'm
a little bit
happy to be
more
here.
about yourself.
Yes, as he said, I am a licensed cosmetologist and God advocate. I definitely consider myself a rep for God because I'm gonna stay up, period. And I'm very happy to be here with this amazing person. So I'm ready to get started and talk about this topic. It's really interesting to me.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. Today we'll be talking about the power of purpose and who moved my cheese. So before we get into the power of purpose, who moved my cheese came to my mind because it's actually based off a book of two mice and two little people called Him and Haw and then Sniff and Scurry. And so basically they're in a maze and their whole entire life is based off decisions on how to get their food, which is their purpose in life. And so thinking about what we're talking about today, the power of purpose, it kind of reminded me of that book. So if you all have a chance, go look it up. It's called Who Moved My Cheese. They have an 8-minute video, and also there's a very short story all about it. And it's all about change and making decisions and how you can adapt to change and how you can better your life. I read it. It's a good book. So I support it. But like I said, today we're going to be talking about the power of purpose. Too often, us as millennials, we rush to adulthood,
Yes.
and we always say, "I can't wait till I'm grown," or I cannot wait till I graduate, so I don't have to deal with this anymore." But once we reach that point, what happens? Before that point, our main purpose in life is literally to make A's in school, to get a good GPA, and to have a part-time job, and then we have additional responsibilities that are added on. But the basis is to excel as a student. You're a student first, which is what we always hear. But once that is complete, at that junction, what happens? What happens as soon as we finish college? That's when many of us are, I would say, perplexed, kind of confused, and sometimes we try and blame those outside circumstances on what's going on with ourselves, not necessarily taking accountability. So where does that purpose come from, right? So our purpose before was to be a great student, but now what? It's like you get off that cliff, right? So today we're going to be talking about that purpose. So we may believe that we're created with for a reason. I think that's something we all can agree on, right?
Yeah.
For a unique purpose that's ordained over our life. Like, it's special to us. But when shall we discover and how shall we discover that? That is the hardest question. I mean, is there a true purpose to life without end, or is it just like a maze, like the two little people or the two mice of trial and error? So we're gonna jump straight in, thinking about humans, us. Why us? Why were we created? But before we actually talk about that, I will preface and say this conversation may be faith-based, but at the end we will try and take a different perspective to think, what if we didn't have any type of faith or wasn't guided spiritually or followed the religion? Then what would be that mindset? Okay? So I go ahead and start by saying that I identify and I am a Christian, Baptist, down south Christian. Would you care to say your
I am
faith?
also a Christian. I'm a non-denominational Christian. I grew up Baptist, though. However, yeah.
That's what's
I
up.
did.
That's what's
I
up.
did.
So, and I can attest and say, and I'm sure you can agree that most of this conversation we probably referencing Jesus, God, and having faith. Oh, he's in the house. Put your hands up. God's in the house. Cool. All right, so let's think about this. Why were we created from a biblical standpoint? Why were we created?
I personally think that we're all created simply to fulfill the purpose that God intends for our lives. Regardless of how it takes us to get there, regardless of the steps mandatory to get to that purpose, it's for us to live it. By the time we're gone, we should have fulfilled it or at least tapped into it. I feel like we were all put here to do something,
Right.
and it's for us to get to that by the obstacles that we face every day in life.
Right, and I totally agree. I even went down to think about, so like, why were humans created? Like, why are we different from animals or
That's good.
inanimate objects? And I try to do a little research, and I don't read the Bible as much as I should. I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Not the best at that. But what I will say from when I did a little research, that we were created in order to bring praise to God.
Yes.
In order to bring praise to Him, God was showing off how mighty and sovereign he is. He's the utmost, and he created us.
Yeah.
And we are to be in his image of his greatness. We're trying to attain it, although it's difficult, and we will not be able to capture the whole entire image of God in ourselves. We are trying to work every day in order to get the image. So we have to bring praise. I think I actually called my granny. I was like, Grandma, why did God create us? And she said to give him praise.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the basis of it, to give God the praise. Now, adding on to that, our entire existence is to praise God, right? Displaying compassion, service, and sacrifice to others, which is ultimately Jesus, which is ultimately God, right? So the purpose of life is to be more like Jesus, so compassion, sacrifice, and service to others. So let's focus on service, right? I think that we all are here for a purpose, and in that purpose, it is to serve. How you feel about that?
I definitely agree. I agree wholeheartedly. In Genesis, the Bible tells us that God created man, and he said that it was good. He didn't say that we were okay. He didn't say that we will do. He said that we were good. So he intended for us to be great, and he intended for us to do his work, like Michael said. And his work is to serve.
Right.
His work is absolutely to serve, because if we're referencing to Jesus, that's what he did. He served all of God's people. He served the people that even weren't on God's side. He still served them despite their feelings or despite their faith. So I think that that's our number one purpose, absolutely, to serve others. It's not about ourselves, ever.
That is totally true, and I wholeheartedly agree, of course. Now, everybody in my comments, when I did post, they were like, hey, the purpose of life is to serve God. It is to spread the gospel. It is tend to what God has created. But how does that service look? When does it begin and when does it end? Now, of course, it's different. But how would you describe how that service will look? I know it's kind of hard because it's like this big phenomenon, like we said. But how could you describe or explain to somebody who was like, what does that service look like for me? Or just for anybody?
Performing service for God?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to be cliche here, but I typically think that performing the service for God is to perform in your purpose. To be honest, if I'm working in my purpose and doing what it is that God intends, I feel like I'm performing the service that he wants me to do. So I'm servicing him by doing what it is that he wants from me.
Right.
Tapping into a little extra, going a little out of your way, working hard for not only the ones that you call the ones you say you love, but the ones that you don't know. It's always about others. The Bible tells us to love thy neighbor. So it's not about our inner circles. It's not just about our family, but it's about the people that you surround yourself by every day, daily basis. So what can I do for someone and not be thinking selfishly, but selflessly?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Not thinking selfishly, but selflessly.
Yes.
Okay. I like that. And I totally agree. And we think that sometimes that service has to be this great thing that's far-fetched and it's hard to get. It's going to take us 30, 20 years to get. But no, it's as simple as you said, just being selfless in your everyday actions.
Yeah.
And I even like to think that even when we are young, like I said, we're in school, we are learning how to serve people. We're learning how to communicate equally so we can serve. We're learning how to be a nurse in my book. And with that, I serve people every single day, from wiping booties to giving some type of fluid that may save a life, right?
Yeah.
Same thing for you. You learned about cosmetology and you are literally serving other folks with that beautiful hair. Let's talk about this hair though. I like it.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, it begins it's so small, but
Yeah.
why is it so delayed? Why do some people say, oh, well, I'm only 22. I haven't filled out my purpose. Or why is that idea of purpose or service so far-fetched to some folks?
I believe if we're speaking in the aspect of accepting the godly purpose, that we don't want it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
We're too busy being completely ourselves and wanting what we want for ourselves, and we're not chasing or asking God for his exact will for our lives. We're asking him to be the co-pilot. So we struggle with finding purpose when we don't seek what it is that he wants us to do.
Right.
And we're trying to puzzle piece it together by what society looks like or what the views are as far as what it may appear to be to get to a successful standpoint, instead of actually tapping into what it is that he wants for us.
Yeah, I agree. Those external factors can distract.
Yes.
Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And some of us are in the world fully.
all the way.
Fully.
All the way. 2 p.m.
That's right. And then, like you said, when you had that calling or when God's like, hey, it's time, you're like, no. Just let me wait.
I'm busy.
Right? I'm busy. I'm doing this. Or no, I want to have fun right now.
Yes.
Or no, it's not time. And then also, I think it's sometimes delayed, not based off of us, but based off of God saying, hey, you ain't ready right now, player partner. You ain't ready. Let's go through a little bit more practice. Let's go through a little bit more training. So once I put you where you need to be, you can excel. You can excel.
Yes.
For sure. So, and sometimes it's discouraging to hear people say, God's mad at me, or I can't see how that person's not praying and they're getting promotions and I'm praying, I'm going to church every day and I'm still working this 9 to 9 and getting paid only $9 an hour.
Oh yeah.
Right? So how would you encourage that person who sees somebody else that is getting all these accolades and all these promotions and they necessarily aren't or are praising God, but then me, on the other hand, I'm praising, going to church with genuine intent, and I'm still at the bottom, I feel like.
Oh yeah. This is so good because I actually had this conversation with someone at church today. You move a little different when God's name is on you. You move a little different when you're that advocate for God, and you have to understand that when you're working in your purpose, and you may look on Instagram and see somebody in your same exact field excelling, doing amazing, buying designer, giving you that vision of what you think success looks like. However, the truth is that when God's name is on you, He moves you a little different, and what happens is you don't understand how good God is until you really have to use Him. So we may say God is amazing. Oh my gosh, He's so awesome when everything in our lives are going good. But when things start getting a little rocky, then we start to question Him, not realizing that, now this is the time to realize how amazing He is. Yes. When I have to truly tap into the faith that my religion is based off of, I have to tap into that thing, because right now, from what I can see, it's not going good.
Right.
But what is happening is that God is building you and testing your character to see if can you handle what is about to come for you, regardless if it takes a year or if it takes 5. Can you handle what I have for you? But when you get a little leery and you start questioning Him and you fall off a little bit and start feeding the world when God seems like He may not be pulling through, that's when He sees, okay, my child, you're not ready.
That's right.
So are you ready?
Whoa. Are you ready? That's the question.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? There it is. Are you ready? Most definitely. You said it the best. Honestly, the only thing I'll add to that is when you compare yourself, you get distracted. You know, they're rubbernecking. You know, you turn this way, you can't even see the road. I'm looking at somebody else, and now it's slowing me down. Yes. I'm gonna get into a wreck because I'm looking over there. You gotta understand. You just gotta stay in your lane. That's the most difficult part. 'Cause you see other folks with new cars or new promotion or going out. You know, we all go to a nightclub. We may see this person just buying drinks, balling. You know what I mean? Like, man, if that was only me, you know? And so looking at that, it can get you down. The other thing I would say is to change it is you have to be the first one to believe in yourself.
Well, yeah.
You can't expect anybody else to believe in it if it's not going to come from you. You got to speak prosperity of your life. You have to get up and say, I can do it, I can make it, and honestly believe in it, for sure. But purpose is so unique to each person, and it cannot be duplicated or imitated, of course. And discovering your passion, discovering your purpose can come in a simple way or a very complex way with faith, with prayer, with experiences. Like, for example, taking various classes in a pre-term program. Oh, I like science. Or mentorship with professionals. Oh, I'm a good business partner. Or even waking up to an idea saying, hey, it's time to get started. On a small seed and it blooms into a big tree. Coming in different shapes and sizes. So how can one truly discover purpose? So using this purpose word, the P word a lot. The P word, right? That, and we said it's service. And it's going to look different for everybody. So how can you serve? And what does it look like? The basis is service, but then it's unique to you when you put, I'm serving by blank.
Yes.
So we can agree on that?
I think so.
Cool. So how does one truly find that purpose, or go a little bit more in depth, how does one truly find that blank? I'm serving by blank. How can we find that?
I think even if I step away from a biblical standpoint, kind of think about what it is that you're good at. Think about what it is that you're great at. What is
Right.
your niche? What is that thing that
Yeah.
you can't seem to leave alone? You can't seem to forget about. That one thing that's always in the back of your mind when you're doing something. What is that one thing that somebody always compliments you on?
Right.
What is that thing that someone always tells you, hey, you should, or hey, that's good? What is that thing? What is that one thing that makes you happy?
That's totally true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even to find that thing that makes you happy, it is going out there and taking risks. It's going out there and doing different things. I would say when I was in college, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to get involved in. I didn't know exactly what type of legacy I was going to leave on UT's campus, but I did make sure when I was a first year student that I went to every organizational meeting. I wanted to figure out, do I like this, do I not? And people said, spreading yourself too thin. To each his own. But I made sure that I went to everything. I was looking, okay, can I see myself being a very pivotal factor in this organization? Is it something that I like to do? Right? Instead of saying, okay, I'm just only going to join one organization because I don't want to spread myself too thin, and then just sit there wondering like, well, do I like this, or what's the other organization doing? Literally going out there, jumping in and trying different things out, taking a risk. And I would say that's exactly how I found my passion of nursing. Going in, jumping in, doing pre-summer programs in college, right? But why is that sometimes harder for other folks? Why is that? Taking risks. Why is that hard for some folks as compared to not?
I think simply because it's a risk.
Yeah.
It is a risk.
Bottom line.
Bottom line, literally, it is a risk, and we are scared. We are so scared in life to become uncomfortable.
Right.
Oftentimes we become complacent in what we know already, in what we do. So therefore it's like I'm going to stay here because it works, or at least it kind of works. And if I don't have to go out there and test a few things, then I'm okay. Right. And I don't have to spread myself too thin. I don't.
Yeah.
Thoughts. Yeah. I don't have to spread myself too thin. I'm good where I am.
Right. And I don't believe that they're chosen ones. I don't believe that, this one person here is more special than somebody else. I don't. I would say each path is different. Not gonna lie, some pathways may be difficult than others, right? But who am I to say that something that's difficult to him or her or that person is easy or is more difficult, right? We all have our different circumstances to go through. So I would say there's not a chosen one, but I would say it's how bad do you want it?
Oh,
right?
That's good.
So how bad do you want it? One thing I dislike, and I was like this once upon a time, is to get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Especially working a job that you know that you don't even like. Or you just like, it's just to pay the bills. Like, that's not living.
No.
That's just existing.
That's not the life God intended.
That is,
At
it
all.
is not at all.
At all.
And it's gonna be difficult, but it's gonna take a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
One thing I told my best friend, because we were talking about purpose, and like I said earlier, once you graduate, honestly, and I'm sure many people can feel this, is that when you graduate, sometimes you're confused. You're like, okay, all my life, I was doing this education thing, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
And this education thing is not there anymore. So what do you
yeah.
do? I say just get out there and volunteer, do something that you like. If you like cats, cool. Love cats. Great. Go and find something that deals with cats. If that's like a shelter for cats, or going to take care of folks. Not take care of folks that are cats, but go and take care of cats and walk them. Do you walk cats? You don't walk cats, right?
I don't think so.
Well, you can listen. If
you want to walk a cat,
if you want to walk a cat, then
walk
you walk
a
a
cat.
cat. You can. Know what I'm saying? That small idea.
Yeah.
It can
It's
bloom.
that serious.
Walking a cat. But you wouldn't know unless you try, right? So going out there and doing something that you love and figuring it out, volunteering, because I kid you not, once you actually get out there, you meet somebody else, that's a connection, and then it just
Whoa,
it
that's all it's
escalates.
about.
It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be the next day. It may take a few years.
Man.
But it is all the way totally worth it. Now, let's kind of go back to what we said. Then we're going to go back to then we're going to go towards the non-biblical side and try and figure that out just a little bit. I would say it's going to be kind of hard for me, though. But
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it'll be kind of hard for you, too.
I'll try.
All right. So, with faith included, give me a spiel, give me something that will encourage the people watching this to not give up, to look for how they can serve somebody, and to keep going, although the odds may not be in their favor. Give me a spiel. Anything you want to say to them. This is not the end, y'all, but this is going to be kind of the conclusion of this one segment. We're going to go to the non-spiritual side and try and figure that out a little bit. What would you say?
I'm definitely an advocate for not giving up. A lot of people often ask me, how long have I been in this business? I've been doing this all my life. I've been combing hair since I could properly hold a comb. Um, Literally. So I've always known that this was what I wanted to do, but God had to continue to water that thing for me to be where I want to be. And I'm still not there. I know that God is not finished with me, but I am so grateful for how He's blessed me. And please, me being a spokesperson for, do not focus on the outer appearance.
Right.
You never know what's going on in that person's life. God has put me through a lot, and I do mean a lot, to get to where I am, and I know that it's not over, but it's so amazing to continue to chase that, though. It's so awesome of a feeling to continue to chase what you know He has for you, because He constantly is pouring into you, whether you feel empty or not. Never give up on that. Never, and I won't say question it. We're human. I still question it, but never give up on that.
Yeah.
Pray about it, work hard, and go with what you have right now.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and say, I don't have enough. I need more. I need more money. I need more followers. I need more friends. Go with what you have right now and trust in that thing right now, because it's not for your understanding for you to go. It's for His. So if you trust Him enough to step out now, you'll be awesome at whatever you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I know so.
You know so.
I know so.
Most definitely.
I know
Faith is taking the first step in the staircase and not knowing where it's going.
Not
Most
at
definitely. All right. Well, what I would say to you is that nobody can be a you. You are the only you.
That's
God
good,
created
isn't it?
you to be you. Nobody in all the earth would ever be able to say that they are you. So you should take that seriously.
Yes.
You have, and then it's so unique, because like service by what? It is so unique to you.
Yeah.
This life, you only get one of them. YOLO, right? You only live once. So you have to make it to the best of your ability. The time is now, as you said. It's not tomorrow. It's not yesterday. It is now to begin to think about. And it's going to take some work. You have to, like, I go to the coffee shop. I sit down. I write my goals down. I say, how can I achieve this goal? I write 3 bullets. And I'm not going to lie. Do I forget sometimes? I do.
Yeah.
Do I be like, it's not worth it? I do. But they will always be in the back of my mind. I always pull it up so I can remind myself. Secondly, you have to speak life over your life. You have to speak prosperity. If you get up with the negative mindset of, I'm finna go take this test, but I'm not gonna pass. Or I'm about to go to this job and my manager's finna give me this bad day. I'm about to quit. Or I'm not finna do this no more. It's gonna happen. If you speak that life over your life and speak prosperity and think about what's going into your mind. When I'm down, I try and listen to some gospel music. I try and go listen to some on YouTube that's going to encourage me, because when you at the rock bottom, you feel like you can't go nowhere. But once you reach rock bottom, the only way is up. And so I would say those who speak life, speak prosperity, what is going into your mind? What are you listening to? Even as your friends or music or even what you see on television.
Yeah.
And also knowing that you are unique. You are the only you to ever be on this earth like this.
Yes.
Last question about that, I forgot to ask you. What is your purpose? That's the big question right there. What is Tensia Leak's purpose? What is that? Tell me that.
My purpose is 100% to serve wholeheartedly. A lot of times, it can become a little confusing in cosmetology, because like my purpose is to make people feel beautiful. Absolutely not. I feel like it's a little more serious as far as my purpose is to touch those people. Those people come into my chair over and over again. I get new people maybe every day, and I get to touch them. And you never know what a personal touch, because that's what that is considered, can do to someone. I enjoy speaking life into those women, even if it's not. A lot of times people think that you have to beat somebody over the head with the Bible or speaking life into them. No, it can be just simple conversation that you don't understand that can change that someone's day.
Right.
So I think that my purpose is to touch them, is to talk to them, and is to truly feel and make that person feel beautiful from the inside out. It's not about how amazing I can style your hair, but it's about how amazing I can make you feel.
Most definitely.
So it's about making you feel like the beautiful person that I know God intended you to be from the time that you come into the door till the time that you leave, and us to continue that relationship. Yeah. It's a relationship for me.
I like that.
So my purpose is to serve wholeheartedly and give my all to that person. It's never about me.
I like that. So most people, like I would have thought, to make somebody look beautiful, instead of it's a little bit further with you. And I really appreciate that. I do. So was that difficult for you to find
Yes.
How did that happen?
Yes, absolutely. I ran from it. I was very into money at first.
Which many of us are.
Right. I was very into money. I was doing hair, but I always told my dad, Daddy, I want to do a side job. I want a side job because I'm a little high maintenance and there's more things that I want to do.
Right.
And he said, okay. So he took me to all of these interviews and all of these, and I never got a job. I never had one. I never got a job. And I was so mad. I was like, why not me? Why can't I have a job like these, like regular people? I feel like I can work a job. It's easy to me.
Right.
And my dad was like, well, sweetheart, that's not your purpose. So sometimes God literally just blocks out those things that he knows will never be good for you.
That's right.
So although some people have to go through them, and there are things that I went through as well, but some people have to go through them to get to their purpose, God just completely shut it out for me. And he was like, work in what I gave you. I blessed your hands, work in that, and continue to work in that, and it'll grow if you trust in it.
Right.
So my faith changed when I was 16, and I continued to water that and allow God to pour into me to make that better for myself. And that's when I knew that it went from just I do hair to I change lives.
Oh my. I like that. So you were running away from it.
Yes.
In a sense. You're like, I don't want it.
No.
Don't give it to me.
No.
And I guess in that moment you kind of say like, I'm not getting these jobs. Like, what is wrong with me?
Right.
Questioning yourself. But then once you hand it over, and now I would say you're happy. When you say you're happy,
completely consider I'm joyful.
Good. Oh my, joyful. I like that one. It's like I'm joyful. I like that.
Yes.
The other thing I want to know is, so once you became a cosmetologist, once you actually went to schooling, you were doing it for a long time. Did you have any naysayers? Did anybody not believe in you?
What did I?
Tell me about that. Do I now?
Woo! Absolutely. In school, I was book smart. I was a bad kid, but I was book smart.
You made E's and U's, but had all A's. E's and
U's and honor roll. Okay.
Right, you hear me.
But definitely, even my teachers was like, no college? Like, what? Are you serious? You're not going to go to an institution? You're not gonna fulfill it. Like, look at how amazing you are in English. You can't go get at least a business degree?
Right.
And my family felt that way.
Yeah.
I have four brothers, four brothers, two sisters, and none of them, except my baby sister, none of them completed college. So it was kind of like, okay, this is this girl, she's so driven. Look at my daughter, this is the baby, she's driven, she's ready. So it was like, go to college, I know she'll succeed. And I'm like, no, I know what I want to do. This is my purpose in life, and I'm going to fulfill it. I'm not going to waste time from what others say. Yeah. And we get distracted by what others say.
Most definitely.
Because we're trying to please them. And that's how we feel. That's how we waste a little time in what God has for us.
That is so
by
true.
Pleasing others. So I said I had to make the conscious decision that I couldn't do that.
Right.
I couldn't, because I wanted to. I was like, I'm going to go to college. Forget it. But I knew that wasn't the purpose that God intended.
Right.
It wasn't. So I had to do that. And I had to do what he asked me to do.
Right.
And it made my life so much better.
Yeah. And I can only imagine in that time, because I would say I've done it before when it came to the old me. When I saw somebody not going to college, I'm like, you're not going to college? College?
No.
Like, you're not college? Oh, well, you're about to work somewhere like not real, you know?
Yeah.
But, and I think that some people can really relate to that, where, I mean, honestly, they went through school just pursuing a degree because that is what they thought they had to do.
Yeah.
And they didn't know anything different. And I will even go further to say that's what some people are still doing. They graduated college, they have a degree, don't know how to utilize it.
Clue. Right.
Like I said before, what were we doing before you graduate? What was your purpose? To excel with GPA. You felt good. You were making A's. Cool. You got a 3.7. Great. Everybody praising you. So now what you do? You get back in school, graduate school. You can do the same thing. Now, that's not always the story, because some people know what they want to do and they want to go a little further for graduate school. But I know a few people who, and I'm so serious, that all they knew when they graduated was, well, I got a few letters. Yeah. And then they kept going. Yeah. And I'm glad that you had that calling then and there, and you answered. Because you could have said, could have went to college. Hey.
I'll call back.
Hey, hello. Right?
Yeah.
You could have easily done that, went to college and got a degree. Right? English, like you said. And then still steering away from cosmetology, running away from it, and then your whole life would have been kind of a little different. Actually, a lot. Let's talk about that. Actually, running away from your purpose. Actually, no. I had something else. Oh, I lost it. I had it. It was right there. It jumped because you said that, and I wanted to go that way. Ay. Hold on, give me a second. I think. Hold on. I forgot.
Oh my goodness.
It was a good point, but I forgot. But all right, have a think about it. We'll talk about it. But we're gonna go on the other side of it. So without religion, spirituality, or faith, what is the purpose of life? So before we did mention purpose of life is serving by something. It's unique to us. Here, Kaptali, touching you, making you feel beautiful on the inside and out. It is rare. Me and you, it's a relationship. We hear me, medicine, nursing, or thinking about it a little bit later, something different. Student affairs, students, right? Advocacy. Serving by blank. So let's switch gears for a second and think about the other side. So if you don't have that spirituality, religion, or faith, what do you have? So what is your purpose of life? Now, actually, somebody actually hit me up through Instagram, and we had a conversation about the purpose of life. And that person had the idea of Jeez Louise, I gave that different away. Either way, so she was very overt about the fact that she's not spiritual, she's not religious, she believes in a higher being, but it's not anything that she feels is over her lifestyle, or she has to give praise to, or sovereign in a sense. And so she said, hey, I live my own life for me. I do what I want to do, and I am going to have fun, right? And I wish I can pull it up and read it, but it's on my phone, and I'm on Instagram, you know. I wish I can pull it up. But it was more so of, I don't have faith in anything, and I am just here on this earth living the life that I want to live, right? So now we're going to try and take religion out of it, spirituality and faith. How does that make you feel? Like, trying to empathize with that, of course. How does that make you feel, though?
Oh, okay. Really quick. I don't know how I would. I feel like I don't know what I would be without. But okay, it's really difficult because I feel like that's a little harder because it's like, what do I turn to other than me? Yeah. And then what do I turn to other than my peers who can let me down, who can pour bad into me, who can pour good into me? And then I only seek myself. I become, if you believe in a higher power and not God himself, I become the God of my own life. Yeah. And that is a hard job. That is a hard call. Yeah. And I just, that would be really difficult for me. Yeah. Because when it turns to me trying to trust in myself, that's really hard for me. I can do it. Yeah. I can. It's hard. Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's difficult too to try and think about it like that. Now I can understand. I would say I understand why, because you know, I think the whole entire thing of religion or spirituality, the base of it is faith. Mm-hmm. So believing in something that you cannot see. Right, and then we teeter with that. Is it real or is it fake? Mm-hmm. Right, is it me or is it him? You know, am I listening or am I ignoring what is? Oh, and to add to it, that person said it just causes more stress when you think about the purpose of life. Not gonna lie, it does cause more stress. I mean, shoot,
I'm still stressed.
It's stressful. You know what I mean?
I'm stressed. Yes,
but I would say that makes me feel that not having, you know, spirituality or faith as the leading purpose of life. I'm trying to really even think about like what. Does anybody on here want to speak on that? Like what ideally would be the purpose of life without faith or without that guidance, that book that we have in order to know how to live? I don't know. Maybe that'd be.
I think we would just live. It would honestly be kind of like how our generation is living, a day-to-day type of thing. Yeah. It's a day-to-day. Like, I'm just going one day at a time. Yeah. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah. Whatever I do, I do. As long as I make money, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't really like that. I don't
like
that. Yeah.
Be it that we are faith-based, it's like having that purpose that I'm chasing makes me feel better. Because, like, I'm accomplishing this, and now it's something else.
You know it's
but
something.
Going day by day kind of it drives me a little crazy. I don't know. I don't know if I could just go day by day not knowing what am I doing.
Yeah.
I'm just here.
Yeah. But some people, like we said, they just get up.
Yeah.
They go to work and they come back and they go to sleep. You know, and
I
would say, I mean, if that's the life you want to live, then totally, so be it. Now, of course, you got two advocates of the big man upstairs here that'll tell you different. We're not going to shove everything down your throat, but we did give you our little testimony there. But yeah, I don't really know, like, what would the purpose be without faith? And I would say, actually, I'll conclude with this point, is that before I actually believed in God, like, fully, like, I was young, I said, I believe in God, yay, Jesus.
Yeah, that's good.
That's when I would say I was just living. I was just existing in the world, and I necessarily didn't have, I guess, a purpose, or even something that guided my life. Like, I just knew that I was on this earth. I didn't pray. I didn't even think about God. I hated going to church. I hated doing all that stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I just went from day to day. And I think some people, okay, pinky up in the air. That girl said, it is the orange juice. But yeah, I don't know. That's difficult. Maybe we can talk about that next time, or perhaps in the comments or something.
Maybe.
I can't. Like, I can't even. It kind of got me. Got my tongue in there.
Yeah, I'm a little stuck. I'm a little stuck because it's really difficult for me. It really is.
Now, I would say we're not judging anybody, of course, because I would say that
me.
Right. Once upon a time, I was like that. I didn't have a faith. I didn't know. You know, so we're not judging anybody. It's just kind of difficult, you know, to kind of remove a big factor out of our lives to the side and then try.
Realistically.
But I wholeheartedly can understand about that, though.
I can. I do understand that. Yeah.
Most definitely.
I understand.
All right. You have anything else to say to the greater good of the people about purpose being defined over their lives?
Ooh. I just want to reiterate two things. And one is that I heard in a movie, it's not, even if you're not a titles person or a name calling person, you don't have to be selfless. It's literally just to think of yourself less.
Right.
Literally. And that's how you can start in this greatness of serving others. Just understand that serving people will feel good to you. If it doesn't now, if you don't like people, think about it in the aspect of it's for my betterment. Regardless of what I'm getting out of it, regardless of how it affects me, I know that it does good for me in the long run. You can't think about what you can get out of it. A lot of people always say, I bless people because it'll bless me. Just bless them and worry about that later.
That's right.
Just worry about that later, or don't worry about it at all. Know that God has you. And secondly, go with what you have now. You are enough. You have enough. You have been accepted by the only person that matters, and that's God. He's the only one that matters, regardless of who you feel loved by, who you feel accepted by. You are accepted. So go with what you have now. Step out on it and try it.
That's right.
Take that risk.
Right. Take the risk. Take the first
risk
step
into your purpose. I promise you will fall in it.
Take the whoa.
Yeah.
Coined right there. Take the risk. Take the step, and I promise you will fall in it. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. To conclude, what was that? Something like it broke. But to conclude, I would say that purpose is serving. Serving. That's the main thing I really want to underscore, to emphasize, to iterate is service. How will you serve? And I had a conversation earlier. Once you serve others, you would then begin to learn more about yourself. Once you serve others, you will find out so many things. Like, things will start falling in place. I kid you not. Just try it. Give me one day. Just do it one day. Say, I'm going to serve others. I'm going to not be, what do you say, selfish, but think about myself less?
I don't have to be selfless. I just think of myself less.
Think of yourself just less one day and see how things fall into place. Literally. And I will attest and say, that is one of the reasons why I am who I am today. Yeah. Serving up, like my whole entire life is serving others. We learned it when we were young. We're being taught all this information so we can serve others. Last thing I'll say is, actually I tried to mention earlier, is what's the purpose of a job? To serve. I kid you not. Like, sometimes things like a big cycle of going around, because thinking about your profession. So you get somebody's, you do somebody's hair, you make them feel beautiful, you pour into them, you talk to them. That's a connection that you make. and then you serve them. Now they're gonna go to their job.
Yes.
Let's say they're a nurse and they're
Yeah.
serving somebody else, and then that person leaves, and then it's like a never-ending cycle of service. Get a part of
That's
it.
really good how you about that. I like that. I like how you did that.
Thank you. Get a part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, when I think about it like that, it kind of makes me feel like I'm in this like trial and error game. Like it's like service, like it's a.
It is.
Nonetheless, it's having that faith, right? And so, but yeah, continue to serve folks, and once you stop that, you're stopping the whole entire chain of reactions right there.
Yeah.
Right. So, to the last drop, we have completed a fresh cup of MJ. We focus on the power of purpose and who moved my cheese as we journey through discovery of our purpose, relationships. Relationship. We're not talking about that. Relationship of purpose and spirituality and the lack thereof, and then the challenges therein. With our guest sipper, Tennessee, let's give it up for her. I am MJ Curtis, and this is a fresh cup of MJ, where we sip to character, esteem, and community. I want you to stay thirsty, my friends. The outro music is supposed to start now. Outro music. Maybe it's not going to be on this one, but we do thank you all for tuning in. All right? Bye.